Nyleen K. Marshall, née Briscoe, September 18, 1978, disappeared June 25, 1983, is an American girl who disappeared under mysterious circumstances in the Elkhorn Mountains in the Helena National Forest near Helena, Montana. 2 years after her disappearance, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, other missing person nonprofits, as well as Marshall's family, received phone calls and letters from an anonymous man claiming to have abducted Marshall. In the letters and phone calls, the man detailed sexual abuse but alleged that Marshall was safe and had traveled the world with him. The identity of the anonymous caller and writer is unknown. Marshall's disappearance has received coverage from the NBC series Unsolved Mysteries, as well as true crime writer Nancy Grace. Disappearance on June 25, 1983, 4-year-old Nyleen K. Marshall attended a picnic with her family at a campground in the Helena National Forest near Helena, Montana. At approximately 4 p.m., Marshall was playing with other children who had walked ahead of her near the beaver dams on Maupin Creek. When they turned around, Marshall was nowhere to be seen. Investigation. Search efforts. Law enforcement extensively searched the campground and area where Marshall was last seen, but their attempts to locate her were fruitless. A man wearing a jogging suit was allegedly seen in the area this day, and Marshall was seen speaking to him, though it is unknown if he was involved. The Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as various volunteers searched the area, including abandoned mine shafts. Members of the local LDS Church, of which the Marshalls were also members, helped with the search. Phone calls and letters. On November 27, 1985, 2 years after Marshall's disappearance, an anonymous phone call was placed to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System from a man claiming to have abducted Marshall. 2 months later, in early 1986, a typewritten letter was sent to law enforcement in Wisconsin from an anonymous man claiming he had picked up a girl named Kay. This letter included details about Marshall's disappearance that had never been released to the public. One detective described him as being privy to things that a normal person would not have access to. The writer of the letter explained that he had a good investment income and worked from home, where he homeschooled Kay. He also claimed to travel frequently with her throughout the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. He claimed that though he knew her family missed her, he loved her and could not return her. The letter was postmarked from Madison, Wisconsin. Around the same time, an anonymous caller claiming to be the writer of the letter placed several phone calls to Child Find of America, a national missing children's nonprofit in New York. The phone calls made to Child Find were traced to several phone booths, including one located near a pharmacy in Edgerton, Wisconsin. Law enforcement disclosed that information relayed from the caller and in the letter suggested Marshall was a victim of sexual abuse. Excerpts of the letters that were shown during the case's 1990 airing on Unsolved Mysteries read. Excerpt 1. I didn't want their person to try to get information from her. All I could tell them was that she was okay. I hope Child Find can get the following back to her family. I picked Kay up on the road in the Elkhorn Park area between Helena and Boulder. She was crying and frightened, and as I held her she was shaking, and I decided that I would keep her and love her. I took her home with me. I have a nice investment income and I can work at home, so I care for her myself all the time. I teach her at home and she likes to go with me when I travel. Her hair is short and curly now and she has really grown. She is about 45 inches and around 50 pounds. She has all 4 of her permanent upper and 2 of her lower incisors at this time. She takes a bath and brushes her teeth every day. She eats well. Her favorite meal is pizza and cherry. Excerpt 2. She would gladly recount to you trips to San Francisco, New York, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Nashville, Chicago, Puerto Rico and Canada. We were even in Britain for a month last year and she loved it. Nobody questions passports. Excerpt 3. It is or where it comes from. only that I get it from the bathroom every morning. It is actually a spoonful of my semen. It doesn't affect her physically. I have never molested her in any other way. She is a sweet little girl, and it is because of how much I have grown to love her that I realized how much her family must miss her. But she has adjusted and seems happy. She trusts me and isn't afraid. We play sick a lot and she laughs when we clown around. She smiles and acts coy when I tease her. She giggles when we snuggle and hugs me sometimes for no apparent reason. I love her and I have her. I just can't let her go. Sometime after the receipt of the letters and phone calls, a witness claimed to have seen a girl resembling Marshall at a restaurant in Janesville, Wisconsin. After the receipt of the letters, an unnamed individual claimed to have murdered Marshall and disposed of her body in a mine shaft near Helena. The mine shaft, which had since been sealed, was searched to no result. Discovery of Monica Bonilla. Incidentally, after the airing of Marshall's case on Unsolved Mysteries in 1990, a tip received from a viewer who believed Marshall may have been one of his school classmates in Bellingham, Washington led to the recovery of Monica Bonilla, a young girl who had gone missing in 1982 from Burbank, California, having been kidnapped by her non-custodial father. Aftermath. By 1994, the Marshall family had relocated from Montana to Japan. The following year, in 1995, Marshall's mother Nancy was murdered in Mexico. In a 2017 interview, Jefferson County Sheriff Craig Doolittle stated that law enforcement still had no substantial leads in the case. See also list of people who disappeared. References. External links. Find Nyleen Marshall Facebook page.